Hardcore, formerly called hardcore techno, is a subgenre of electronic dance music that originated in the Netherlands from the emergent raves, Gabber in the 1990s. Its subgenres are usually distinguished from other electronic dance music genres by faster tempos, the intensity of the kicks and the synthesized bass, the rhythm and the atmosphere of the themes, the usage of saturation and experimentation close to that of industrial dance music. History: 1970s. To understand the emergence of hardcore, one has to go back to the 1970s to find signs of hard electronic dance music within industrial music. Groups such as Throbbing Gristle, Coil, Cabaret Voltaire, SPK, Fetus and Einsters and Neubauten produced music using a wide range of electronic instruments. The message diffused by industrial was then very provocative. Some of the musical sounds and experimentation of industrial have directly influenced hardcore since the beginning of the movement. 1980s. In the mid-1980s, under the influence of the Belgian group Front 242 electronic body music, a new genre more accessible and more dancing inspired by industrial and new wave appeared. This style is characterized by minimalism, cold sounds, ridden of the Afro-American influences unlike disco, funk or house, powerful beats, generally combined with aggressive vocals and an aesthetic close to industrial or punk music. When EBM has met New Beat, another Belgian genre, and acid house, the music has changed to a harder sound. All the elements were here for the arrival of hardcore. The term hardcore is not new in the music world. It was first used to designate a more radical movement within punk rock which, in addition to hardening the music, also attached importance to their attitude and the way of life as in the street where it was born. Violent, underground, but engaged and sincere. The term has then been reused when hip-hop emerged in the late 1980s, designating the harder part of the hip-hop, with the same characteristics. A harder sound, engaged lyrics and a whole way of life dedicated to the respect of the values shown by rappers like KRS-One or Public Enemy. The term hardcore techno has first been used by EBM groups like grumh, Pankov, and Leith of Strip in the late 1980s, although the music had nothing to do with hardcore. grumh, Sucking Energy, released in 1985, was the first track ever to use the term hardcore within an EDM context. In 1990, the German producer Mark Trauner, also known as Mescalinum United, is the first to claim to make hardcore techno with his track We Have Arrived, largely considered as a track founding the genre. 1990s. In the early 1990s, the terms hardcore and darkcore were also used to designate some primitive forms of breakbeat and drum and bass which were very popular in England, and from which have emerged several famous producers like The Prodigy, Lords of Acid and also Goldie. It introduced sped-up hip-hop breakbeats, piano breaks, dub and low-frequency bass lines and cartoon-like noises, which has been retrospectively called old-school hardcore and is widely regarded as the progenitor of happy hardcore and jungle. Around 1993, the style became clearly defined and was simply named hardcore as it left its influences of the techno of Detroit. The official birth of the hardcore is supposedly known as the release of the track We Have Arrived from the German producer Mescalinum United, from Frankfurt, that has become one of the bastions of the hardcore at its start. Arkady Payne founded the label Planet Core Productions in 1989 and has produced more than 500 tracks, including 300 by himself till 1996. Another important name of the hardcore scene has started at PCP, Miroslav Pajic, better known as Miro. Among other things, the group PCP has popularized a slow, heavy, minimal and very dark form of hardcore that is now designated as darkcore or doomcore. In the United States, the New York pioneer of techno Lenny D launched the label Industrial Strength Records in 1991 that has federated a large part of the American scene, making New York one of the biggest places of the American hardcore. Among others, there were Delta 9, Laura Grab, DOA, and The Horrorists, but the label has also produced producers from other nationalities like the English Caustic Visions, the Australian Nason Bluton, and even few tracks of Mark Icardi Payne. At the same time at Rotterdam, the DJs and producers Paul Elstak and Rob Fabry have popularized a speedier style, with saturated bass lines quickly known as Gabber, and its more commercial and accessible form, the happy hardcore. Paul Elstak founded Rotterdam Records in 1992, which became the first label of hardcore of the Netherlands. In 1992 at Utrecht, a giant rave called The Final Exam has led to the creation of the label Idean Amp T, which launched in 1993 the concept of Thunderdome, which has quickly popularized hardcore music in Europe with a list of compilations and events attracting thousands of young people, then launching the Gabber movement. Just during the single year 1993, 4 compilations were released with an increasing success. Lots of artists on those compilations have then become famous stars like 3 Steps Ahead, DJ Buzz Fuzz, The Dream Team, Neophyte, Omar Santana, and Charlie Lenoise and Mental Theo in the Gabber Happy Hardcore registry. The same year, the label Mokum Records is created by Freddie B, which has had success thanks to artists and groups like techno hit Tellurian, The Speed Freak, Scott Brown, and a Belgian musician Liaison Elias, pioneer of the speedcore. In England, the members of the sound system Spiral Tribe, including Stormcore, 69 decibels, Crystal Distortion and Curly, have hardened their acid breakbeat sound, becoming the pioneers of the tribe, acidcore and hard techno genres. In 1994, they founded the label Network 23, which among others has produced Somatic Responses, Caustic Visions, Unit Mobius, establishing the basis for the musical and visual bases of the free party hardcore. At the same time, another scene has increased around the DJ, the producer, Traffic, Brian Fury and Hellfish. In France, the pioneers of hardcore include Laurent Ho, DJ Charlie and Amp, DJ David, DJ Kirin, DJ Le Carotte, Atomic Compressor, King Smoke, The Kilo Clowns, LKJ, Pat Karsh, DJ Olive, Manula Malin, PSY4X Sound System with TEM and DJ TOF, then Drive, Macabre. They have quickly been followed by Speedix, Armageddon, Le Peste, Sarin Assault, XMF, in which works the hacker. Manula Malin has given a great visibility to the genre in France. He has regularly appeared in TV shows. For the beginning, the French hardcore is distinct by its harder and darker industrial and acid sounds, which are very different from the sound of the Netherlands except GTI that is closer to the sound of the Netherlands and England. As the Free Party movement was growing in the country, other producers and sound systems have become famous. The Technocrates Heretic System, including the members Pop of Beans, KRS and Naud, have produced a large number of hard techno, hardcore and speedcore tracks. Micropoint, composed by Radium and Alcor, which exists since middle 1990s, has had a great success with their album Neurophony in 1998. This album is often considered as the start of the subgenre Frenchcore, leading to a huge attraction for the hardcore in France, matching with the high media appearance of the Free Party phenomenon. In the late 1990s, hardcore progressively changed. The early hardcore progressively died, leaving the place to other more accessible styles like Machina and hardstyle. 2000s. Under the influence of hardstyle and the industrial hardcore new scene featuring DJ Promo and its label The Third Movement and producers like Ophidian and Mindustries, the mainstream hardcore has appeared in the early 2000s with a modern, mature, slow and sophisticated form, which has quickly had success in Europe, especially in Netherlands and Italy, among producers and groups like Endymion, Kasparov, Art of Fighters, The Stunned Guys and DJ Mad Dog. Happy hardcore continues its movement underground and has evolved, bringing out other related genres such as Eurobeat, UK hardcore, freeform hardcore and full-on hardcore. The list of compilations Biomechanic mixed by Manula Malin has given a great visibility to darkcore, which has created a keen interest early 2000s. Labels like Enzyme Records, Crossbones and Block 46 have produced artists from this genre, like Roughneck, Fifth Era and The Outside Agency. As the Free Party movement has an increasing success in all the Europe, free techno has appeared. There are numerous producers and labels for the tribe, the hard techno and the Frenchcore. Epileptic, Audiogenic, Les Enfants Sages, Takita, Break Team, Mokitek, B2K and Narcotech. Production techniques. Hardcore is usually composed using music sequences, and many earlier tracks were produced on home computers with module tracker software. Some examples of the software used are FL Studio, Ableton Live, Cubase, Logic, Nuendo and Reason. The wide availability of computers, combined with the absence of financial remuneration, means that many hardcore musicians write for their own enjoyment and the pleasure of innovation. Subgenres. Hardcore spawned several subgenres and derivative styles, including darkcore, doomcore, broad categorical description characterized by elements of breakbeat, hardcore, and dark musical themes, emerged in response to the happy party sound of UK hardcore. Digital hardcore, hardcore punk, hardcore techno fusion, closely related to hardcore punk music. Freeform hardcore, subgenre of UK hardcore with strong influence of trance, mainly instrumental. Full-on hardcore, aka psychcore, a fusion of full-on psychedelic trance and hardcore. It's known to be energetic and melodic, uplifting in nature using faster tempos. Frenchcore, originated in the French rave scene of the early 1990s. Involves the recreation of a distorted bass drum sound with a synthesizer. It is also considered a type of free techno. Frenchcore achieved wider recognition in 1998 with the release of Micropoint's first album Neurophony. Hardcore breaks, a genre written in the style of breakbeat hardcore and produced using modern technology and production techniques. Gabber, early hardcore, popular in the Netherlands, Germany, France, Australia, Italy, Belgium and Scotland, characterized by a heavy bass drum sound, usually distorted, and generally 150 to 180 BPM. Mainstream hardcore, aka new style, modern form of gabber, are often melodic, with more complex sounds. Generally 150 to 165 BPM. Happy hardcore, form of dance music known for its high tempos, usually around 165 to 180 BPM, often coupled with male or female vocals and sentimental lyrics. Popular in the UK, Germany, Australia and Spain, amongst other countries. Industrial hardcore, a form of hardcore that was primarily influenced by notable French producers such as Le Peste, Joshua, Laurent Ho, NKJ, Micropoint, Speedy Q, Armageddon, Taciturn, and producers from the UK, such as DJ Freak, UK Skullfuck and Pressurehead. The beats were typically hard, but often the industrial factory, organized chaos sounds layered on the bass were more prominent than the bass itself in comparison to a speedcore track from Noise Creator's Brutal Chud label. The speed could typically range from 160 BPM to 350 BPM, but the usual set was played at 220 BPM. Macana, fast electronic dance music from Spain, fairly similar to happy hardcore. Speedcore, subgenre of gabber, distinguished by very fast tempos, infused with heavily distorted percussion and aggressive themes. Splittercore, microgenre of speedcore, usually 700 to 800 BPM. Extra tone, applied when the tempo exceeds 1000 BPM. The individual beats can no longer be distinguished and are perceived as audio tones. Terror, aka terrorcore, faster, darker form of gabber with highly aggressive themes, often noisier tones and unusual beat rhythms. UK hardcore, modern adaptation of happy hardcore, distinguishable from its predecessor by a style that is less happy and features harsher sounds such as saw lead lines. Notable related events: Diff 1 Festival, Masters of Hardcore, Sensation Black, Thunderdome, Dominator Festival.